Hi guys, and welcome back to Mid Day Matcha with Livi. Clearly, I am fucking Livi. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back. It's been a fat minute, you know. I have been sick. It was like 13 days I was sick. I did indeed have COVID-19. Fuck that. You know what? It really kicked my ass. Like, I genuinely thought I was dying most of the time during that, but I didn't. Like, I'm still fucking here. I'm alive, I'm well, and I'm ready to give you another episode. I wasn't even planning on taking that week off because, like I said, I want to hit 50 episodes by 1 year, and I'm gonna hit 50 episodes by 1 year. Next week will actually be my 1 year episode, which is kind of crazy. I have some fun things planned, and I don't have anything planned. I don't have a single fucking thing planned. I fully lied right there. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to lie. I have ideas of what I want to do, but I'm not fully sure as to what I want to do, but I'm gonna figure that out. That's not for you to worry about, it's for me to worry about. Okay, so I don't remember the past 13 days. I don't remember shit. All I did was like watch Desperate Housewives and sleep, and like I couldn't move, and I'm just such an active fucking person though. Like, I really am. I like to like be up and moving all the time, and I like to work, and I like to get my stuff done. And so for me to be like incapacitated, I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm gonna just go with it. Like, it was really fucking rough for me. Like, it was genuinely difficult, and I'm a survivor of COVID-19, so there is that. So yeah, that's my little week intro. I don't have anything exciting to tell you because I didn't do shit the past 13 days. I was a fucking coma patient, basically. Anyways, as you can tell by the title of this week's episode, we're gonna be talking about pregnancy scares and just like, yeah, pregnancy scares. That's basically it. I have had a million fucking pregnancy scares, okay? I always think I'm pregnant. I always think I'm pregnant, even when I'm not having sex. I'm like, am I pregnant? Like, am I pregnant right now? I don't know why. Well, no, I do know why. I'm not on birth control because I don't have sex, which is stupid because I should be on the pill. I used to have an IUD, but then I had an emergency removal. It was such a dramatic day of my life. Honest to God, my IUD emergency removal was literally traumatic. I need to like talk to my therapist about it because it was like actually fucked up and it was terrifying. But yeah, but we're not here to talk about my IUD removal. But yeah, I'm not on the pill. Like, I don't fuck, you know, I don't have sex, but I do this thing like every 6 months where I do have wild, crazy sex with some guy. And not like I like plan it out, but like that's kind of just like how my life goes. I feel like it's like either I'm not fucking at all or I'm like fucking everything. Like, I don't know. That's just kind of how it is. And I never know when it's coming, and I'm never on the pill when it comes around. So I always have pregnancy scares. And it's absolutely terrifying. So I feel like I'm pretty good on this subject. So we're going to be talking about how to deal with a pregnancy scare, like my tips and tricks. Obviously, I'm going to give you my fucking opinion on this topic, and then the types of guys during pregnancy scares and my own pregnancy scares. I'm going to give you some story times. It's a story time episode. I mean, every episode I feel like is a story time because I'm fully obsessed with myself. But let's get into my most recent pregnancy scare. It was in November of 2020, okay? Let's start here. I always know that I will get an abortion, okay? If this is like abortion trigger warning, I'm so sorry. Abortion trigger warning. Everybody has their own opinions of everything going on. Like, not that. Everybody has their own opinions of like abortions, keeping the baby, adoption, all those things. Here's my opinion. I knew from a young age that I would abort the fuck out of any child that I conceived within the time that I wasn't married. Not for religious reasons, for the simple fact that like my career is the most important thing to me. I like how I'm like, it's not for religious reasons of why I would abort a child before marriage. It is because I know when I'm married to someone, I hope I'm in love with them, and that will mean I have taken the time to like take a break from my like career, I guess, and like I'll actually like want to be with that person, and I'll actually want to have that person's baby. I don't even know if I want kids in general, but that's like a whole different episode. But yeah, I knew from a young age that I was gonna abort any child before marriage. Like if I was to get knocked up by like a one night stand or one of my loser fucking boyfriends, I knew that I was gonna abort. Like I'm very open and honest about that like abortion is my #1 option. I don't believe in having the child. I know it's like such a taboo topic, but for me, it's not that hard. I knew that my career is everything, and like as selfish as that is, like it's my entire world. It's like my purpose. It's everything I live for. So I don't want a child in the way. I'm just not equipped to be a mother at this young of age or any young age before I'm married. So I want nothing taking away from my career. Like that's just point blank period. I knew once I started having sex, if I was to get pregnant, I would abort, okay? That's my own opinions. I don't give a fuck what you think. Okay, so let's go to my most recent pregnancy scare. Yes, it was in November. I was about 4 days late on my period. Was I using protection during sex? No. This is really toxic. This is really sad. This is a moment for all of you to feel extremely bad for me. I just feel like every time I hook up with a guy, they're never like eager to pull out a condom, so like I never think about condoms, because like fuck it, like honest to God, like I don't like condoms, but I mean I would love for them to take one out and put one on, and then I would have sex with a condom on, because I mean I should be having sex with a condom on in general. Oh my God, I really just like say everything on this podcast, but I should because I'm not on the pill, but it's like spur of the moment kinds of things, so I wasn't using any protection like a fucking dumbass, and I don't recommend that. And if you do that, you're gross. You're genuinely gross. No, I'm sorry, you're not gross, but you just should be using protection like always. I even believe like I was always, the reason I got the IUD was because I was like, I want to hold myself accountable for my end of birth control as well. Like I don't want to just put that all on the guy, because men are fucking stupid. Like I don't just trust a man to be like, oh, like the condom, or like, I don't know, I just like don't trust anybody. So that's like exactly why I got my IUD. It was because I was like, since I can't trust these motherfuckers, I can trust myself, and this is 99% protective, and then protective, whatever the fucking word is, and then they can like wear a condom and stuff, and we're like extra careful. But yeah, since I got my IUD ripped out of my vagina suddenly one Tuesday afternoon, I haven't been on any sort of contraception because I told you I don't have sex. So anyways, I was not using protection with this person, and I called the guy because this is, by the way, if you guys listen to the podcast, this is Fingers, the guy that sexually assaulted me. So I called Fingers and I was talking to him because we had like a really good relationship, and in the sense that like I could tell him anything. Like we were very open and honest with each other. You know, some people you just really fucking vibe with, and he was definitely one of them. And I was like, look, I'm late on my period. I'm freaking the fuck out. This is not okay. Like I'm never normally late on my period. So, and I've been fucking you, so go get some pregnancy tests. And he was like, okay, I'll pick up some pregnancy tests and come over. And I was like, okay, you're a real one for that one. And then I was a bitch in this moment. Like I'm making it sound like I was really nice. I definitely was not nice. I was really annoyed with myself that I was in this position. I was like, are you fucking kidding me, Livy? Like you know better than this. Like what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you let yourself get in this position? Because I'm just like really hard on myself. No, but in general, like I shouldn't have been in that position, and I was just really annoyed that I was. And I remember that just like he brought a bunch of tests and I took them, and we just like sat on my bed, and I was laying down like crying. I had tears in my eyes because I was like, that's so disgusting. If I was to have his child or be pregnant with his child, like I don't fuck with him that heavy, you know, like that's embarrassing. No, I like how I'm like, it's just embarrassing to think I could have been pregnant with like his kid. But in general, like I would have hated that, because it's like, God, Livy, like you got knocked up by the guy you barely know. Like, yeah, you're cool now, but like you barely know this motherfucker. It's not like he's your boyfriend. I told him, I was like, if I was pregnant, like we would have to date just so I could sleep at night knowing I got knocked up by my boyfriend, not some random motherfucker I met at Joy District on a Saturday randomly. Like that's just, I just mentally couldn't stomach the fact that like I got knocked up by like someone who I wasn't dating. Like that shit was just eating me alive. And like that's like, if you did, that's totally normal and fine. Like good, go off for you, who gives a fuck. I'm just so egotistical. Like I think that's about it, and I'm like crazy. So I ended up not being pregnant, obviously, because I just wasn't. It almost comes to the point now where I think I'm totally like infertile, because like I'm like never pregnant all the times that I think I'm pregnant. But I'm not trying to test that theory. I'm just saying, like, it's kind of weird. Let's talk about how he handled it. He, out of all the guys that I've had a pregnancy scare with, he was definitely the best. Like, he handled it the best. He was amazing. I would say he was a little bit more, but he did like throw in some things that were so fucking annoying. He was definitely like a little more comfortable with having a child, because you could tell, like, he would talk to me about things, about him and his friends having conversations about kids and like stuff like that. And I was like, I looked him dead in the eyes and I was like, well, that will never happen. I will kill the thing before you ever get a chance to have a child in this world. Like, it is getting literally killed. I just literally imagine that conversation. He's just like, yeah, I mean, like, I think about it, like having a daughter, how protective I'll totally be over her. And I was like, well, you're not getting a chance, because I'll kill it before you even get to even look at it. But no, seriously, that's how our conversations went. I'm always upfront with guys that I'm sleeping with. Always, like, ASAP. The first, like, we can have sex, or like before we even have sex, I'll be like, what are your views on abortion? Because I am comfortable with abortion and I want them to know, so I don't have a weird motherfucker, God forbid, I'm in the situation where I'm pregnant and he's like, no, like, you need to keep it. I don't want any man telling me what I'm gonna do with my body. So I always make sure the guys that I'm sleeping with are like also comfortable with abortion. Like, I'm like, so what are your views on abortion? Like, I genuinely always do that. Like, if I know I'm gonna sleep with that guy, I'm like, so just tell me what your thoughts are on abortion, just because God forbid something like that happens and I'm knocked up, I want you to pay for the abortion. No, but like, no, yeah, I do. I definitely want him to pay for the abortion. So that was so off topic, but yeah, he was great, because like he brought over the test and he was there, and like I would have made him pay for that abortion for sure. And he was good about it. He was really good about it. But like, I didn't need to talk about, my ice machine never makes any noise, but when I want to record Midday Matcha, it makes all the fucking noise in the world. Are we kidding? But yeah, he was honestly great about it. Like, the pregnancy scare ended up, I was not prego, obviously, but him and I did have a second pregnancy scare, okay? Listen, we were not talking at this point. I actually had him blocked, and I blocked him in such a toxic way. I blocked him, I just like unadded him off of Snapchat and then blocked his number. And I could, because when I block someone, I get their text on my computer, not my phone. And he was like, what is, you just like blocked me on everything? And I was like, yeah. Like, I literally didn't give him any warning. We were talking and everything, and then I just blocked him one day because I was done. I was over it. And he was like, what the fuck? And I was like, I wish you the best life, you know, like, go live your best life. It ends up being 2 weeks later, I end up being 14 days late on my period. 14 days. That is absolutely insane. You'd think you're pregnant too. We hadn't had sex in a while. Not like a while, but like, we hadn't had sex. It was like almost impossible for me to be pregnant, but to be 14 days late is a little bit much, is a little bit uneasy, as you could say. Also, I had a psychic reading, because you know me and my psychics, love them. I had a psychic reading saying either I'm having the birth of my career or I'm pregnant. So like, she was like, I keep pulling this card, and I pulled this card for your mom too, and this card either means it's a birth of a career or you're genuinely pregnant. And I was like having issues with my vagina. Like, I was having, oh my God, how do you say that in like a classy way? I was having vaginal problems, and I was like, oh my God, like, I could totally be pregnant. I was like, it could be me. Like, I could be fucking pregnant. And I was like, oh my God. So then to have that thought in my head where I'm like, my psychic said like I could be pregnant. I should have known I wasn't. It was the birth of this amazing career I've begun. No, but like but I genuinely was like, I'm pregnant. So it was super unlikely for me to be pregnant, but I was 14 days late and I was freaking out. So I called him, and this was the reason him and I started talking again. And he was like, I genuinely doubt you're pregnant, but like, take a test. And then I'm toxic, because I told him I was fucking other people. I wasn't. I hope he doesn't listen. I hope he thinks I was fucking everybody. And he was like, how would you know I was the father? And like, I'm toxic as fuck, right? It was like, I was like, oh my God, I don't know it's you. I just picked the best one out of all of you, and I decided that if I'm pregnant, it's gonna be your child. Because I was like, he still needs to think I'm fucking other people. Like, there's no way I'm giving that charade up. So yeah, I ended up not being pregnant. I took another pregnancy test, was not pregnant. But yeah, these pregnancy tests, like, I'm way too good with them. I'm way too familiar with them. Like, I genuinely had them under my sink, and my friends were taking them when they would come over. They'd be like, I'm a little bit late on my period. And I was like, oh, I got you. I have another test. Like, don't even worry about it, because he had bought me so many. But that was my pregnancy test. I mean, that was my pregnancy scare stories with fingers, that fucking loser. And you know what? It was just really traumatizing to the soul. Okay, I have another story time. I obviously had pregnancy scares with my ex-boyfriend. So right after I got that IUD, was I on my IUD at that time? No, I think I still had my IUD in me. And I had sex with my loser ex-boyfriend randomly, and he blocked me right after we had sex because he's just such an amazing man. He's truly just a fucking king. No, but literally, like, how traumatizing. Imagine not having sex with someone for a while and then having sex with them again, and then they block you. And it's because he has fully mental illness. Like, he's fully fucking mentally ill. And I knew that. I shouldn't have fucked him because he's fully mentally ill. Not saying you can't fuck mentally ill people. I'm just saying I shouldn't have fucked him because I knew about his mental illness and his tendencies with his mental illness. And like, I knew I was just gonna get hurt in the end, and like, what did I do? Got hurt. So this pregnancy scare story is a little bit more flavorful, you could say. You wanna know why? It was because I was on prenatals at the time. And you're like, why was a 20-year-old girl on prenatals? Well, because my hair wasn't growing. And one of my hairstylists told me if I took prenatals, my hair would grow. And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna take prenatals. So if you don't know what prenatals are, they are vitamins women take when they want to get pregnant. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take prenatals. I'm not fucking anybody. It doesn't matter. I'll take the damn prenatals. I slipped and fell on my ex's dick, and then realized, had unprotected sex with him, and realized I was taking prenatals. I was absolutely terrified that I was pregnant, and I was like on my own for this one. I remember like we were not speaking, and I cash apped him $10. I was like requested $10 because I was like, I had to get a fucking pregnancy test from you, you literal broke bitch. And like, that's how we weren't talking. Like, if I was to call him off star 67, it would have been declined. Like, if I was to have had his child, it would have been the end of the world. I remember calling my mom, and she's like, well, we'll handle it together. We don't need him. And I was like, yeah, but like, that's so traumatizing. So honestly, thank God there is a God out there, because thank God I was not pregnant when the time that I thought I was pregnant, because I would have absolutely lost my mind to have to go through an abortion with my loser ex who wasn't even in contact with me. Like, I would have lost my mind, as so would you. Anyways, I was panicked because of the prenatals. I was genuinely so panicked. And then that was just like the most emotionally draining thing for me to deal with. Like, that was so heartbreaking, and everybody was like, you're probably not pregnant. And I was like, yeah, I'm probably not, but we're not sure because I decided to take prenatals and fuck a loser, okay? So I was extra scared that I was pregnant. Now I'm really feeling as if I'm infertile, because the fact that I was on prenatals and still not pregnant is a little bit alarming. So that was another pregnancy scare I had with my loser ex-boyfriend, and he's a loser. All my exes are losers. And okay, now we're going to go into my other pregnancy scare, which was probably my scariest, with my ex at the time. He is my abusive, rapist ex-boyfriend. And so the pregnancy scare I had with him was really bad, because so I remember this specifically. I was a senior in high school, and I went to the gas station before I was gonna go to the gym, and the smell of gas was so strong, and it was really irritating me. And I love the smell of gas. So like, you're like, what? I don't know. I just love the smell of gas. But the fact that it was irritating me was an issue. Because I was like, that's weird. Like, I shouldn't be smelling this. Like, I shouldn't be like so sensitive to the smell of this, right? Like, that's so bizarre. And the smells were bothering me, and it was really irritating me. Like, I wasn't happy. not that I wasn't happy. I got in my car, I was like, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna go throw up. Oh my God, I'm gonna throw up because of the smell. So I drove home and I went and I threw up. And I was like, well, this isn't normal for a 17-year-old girl in high school just to smell gasoline and have to throw up. I was like, holy fuck, I'm definitely pregnant. So then I was a little bit late on my period and I was like, oh my God, I called my ex. He came over. He didn't buy the pregnancy test because he's genuinely poor as fuck, like literally so poor, which is disgusting. It's a whole other episode in itself, but I genuinely paid for the whole, it's so embarrassing, I can't even talk about it. I definitely have talked about it in previous episodes, whatever, not the point of the story. So I remember like taking the test, they weren't working, because I got the advanced ones and it like wasn't working, it wasn't, the screen just kept going blank, and I was like, oh my God, am I knocked up or what? I ended up not being pregnant, but I can't remember if it said not pregnant or I just had like an explosive period the next day. Like I remember having one of the worst periods of my life. I was bleeding so much, and then I saw a TikTok later this year or a year ago, and it was like when you're not sure if that was your period or like a miscarriage. I was like, oh my God, did I just miscarry a baby? Like I thought about it because like having such a violent period after thinking you were pregnant, I was like, oh my God, I totally could have just had a miscarriage. But like, it wasn't medically known to me, but I don't know how that shit is medically known. But I just remember that pregnancy scare being one of the worst because I had symptoms of pregnancy where like the smell and the throwing up, like I fully threw up, and I wasn't even bulimic at that time of my life. So I was like, I genuinely thought I was pregnant, and I would have lost my actual mind if I was. So those are my pregnancy scares. Now we're gonna get into the tips and tricks of pregnancy scares. / safe sex. I can't believe I'm the one preaching about safe sex. Anyways, you guys are like, yeah, me too. I literally can't believe you're the one preaching about safe sex. Fuck you. Fuck you. So, like I said in the beginning of the episode, it's so important for me to know where I stand with pregnancy. Like if you keep it, if you would abort it, if you put it up for adoption, like before you start having sex, make that known in your head. And like, don't just do it because I said I want like abortions and stuff like that. Like genuinely make up that mind. Make that up for yourself in your head before you start having sex. Like for God forbid, if you are to be in a position where you have a pregnancy scare, make sure you know what you're going to do in that situation, just because like, I don't know, it provides some sort of safety net for me knowing that I know that I have to get an abortion. You guys are like, you don't have to, but like, that is something I set up for myself, and that like I promised myself that I would never let anything get in the way of my career and stuff like that, that I knew I would have an abortion. So to have that set in my mind, it just makes things a little bit better, I guess, because like I go through the pregnancy scares knowing that the next step is the clinic, you know, like it's not like I'm gonna have the baby with the guy that I met at fucking Joy District on a Saturday. Like, God, no, that's gross. And if you want to keep it, like, know where you stand, and like make sure you know where your partner stands too. I always, literally always, like I will ask even before they enter me, I'm like, what are your views on abortion? Like, because it's so important. I don't want anybody getting in my way and trying to tell me what I'm gonna do with my body. I don't do well with instructions to begin with. The last thing you're gonna do is tell me what the fuck I'm gonna do with my body. Now, I am going to preach about birth control and condoms a little bit. Use them, okay? I had an IUD. I really did love my IUD until it was violently ripped out of me by the lady at Planned Parenthood because I had to get an emergency removal. But like, I highly recommend IUDs, even though mine was violently ripped out of me. No, but like, I really think they are great, as well as the pill is great. I've done the pill too. Actually, no, the pill I hated because it made me an emotional ass bitch. I'm already emotional. The last thing I needed was more hormones in my body from that goddamn pill. I absolutely hated it. So I actually didn't like the pill, but I also recommend using condoms because those protect against STDs, and STDs are so common, as well as like HPV and stuff. So like, even if you're not using condoms for like birth control reasons because you're on the pill and like you're in love with your boyfriend and it's like such a good idea to fuck him raw. No, literally use it for STDs. I remember being at the clinic I was 19, so it was like my sophomore year of college, and the lady was like, well, are you using condoms? And I was like, no, but he's my boyfriend. She was like, that does not mean a single thing. Use condoms. Like, I highly recommend using condoms. And I'm like, no, he would never cheat on me. That is something you do not know. Like, you genuinely don't know if that person's gonna cheat on you or not. I'm not trying to sit here and make you like paranoid if your boyfriend's cheating on you, but like, you don't. Like, she's right. Like, even now, like if I was in a relationship, I wouldn't make them wear a condom because like these dirty motherfuckers, you don't know where they've been, so protect yourself. So honestly, get on birth control, use condoms, because you don't want to be in the position where you have to decide what you want to do with the child. Like, it's just not a vibe, honestly. Can you believe I just said not a vibe? Like, I had every opportunity to say something helpful and useful, but I said not a vibe. Fuck me in the ass. Anyways, which, you know what, I guess that's another way of, no, I'm kidding, it's not. So another thing I really want to address is that if he doesn't buy you the pregnancy test, he's a little bitch, okay? If you are having sex with someone and they have a pregnancy scare, don't be a loser and not buy the test. Like, you're you're probably the most responsible out of the two for that situation. Like, well, no, it's 50-50, I won't be like that. No, but honestly, like, if he doesn't buy the test, reevaluate the whole relationship as a whole and stop having sex with him. I'm like, if you can't buy me pregnancy tests, then the last thing you're gonna get is my pussy. Like, are you kidding? This $1 million pussy, and you are not buying pregnancy tests when I have a pregnancy scare? That is absolutely the biggest turnoff in the entire world, and nothing screams I'm so poor other than the fact that he's not buying you a pregnancy test. Like, that is absolutely disgusting. So same thing with the plan B. If he comes inside of you, or you need a plan B for some reason, if he does not buy it for you, he is genuinely the scum of the earth, and that's embarrassing if you let him hit it again. I'm gonna be honest with you. If your friends won't be honest with you, I'll be honest with you. If he does not buy you that plan B the next morning, he is absolutely fucking trash. Like, absolute trash. And so now that we're on the topic of plan B, I've taken plan B before, one time. I hated it because I was just so nauseous. Like, I remember feeling so sick, and I had one of the worst periods of my life after, but that's way better than having a fucking baby. So I recommend plan B if you're in that situation. Highly recommend it. Like, fully highly recommend it. Like, I'm a plan B stan. Like, go off plan B. Like, I use plan B if you need to. Like, don't let anybody make you feel weird about that. Like, I fully support it, and you should too, because that just prevents you going to the clinic for an abortion. Like, just take the goddamn pill, you know? It's way better than having to deal with having a baby, adoption, or abortion. So highly recommend that. But if he doesn't buy the plan B, the condoms, or the pregnancy test, he's genuinely a fucking loser. You have bagged the losers of the losers, the losers of them all. I hope you're happy that you're dating an absolute piece of trash. Sorry, it's just true. It's a fact. You're like, why are you so passionate about that? I am highly passionate about that topic because, like, there's so many reasons. I'm not going to get into it. Make sure the person you're having sex with is someone you want to deal with if you have to deal with an abortion, adoption, or having a child. Like, if the person you're fucking isn't going to be a good father, maybe stop having sex with him. And if he's not going to be great if you decide to do adoption or an abortion, maybe don't fuck him, you know? Like, don't have sex with him. It's probably not the best. Yeah, highly recommend if you're having if you look at him and you're like, he's literally a piece of trash, probably don't fuck him anymore, because if you're in that situation where you have to have an abortion or have a baby, that you don't have to have it with him. So those are my little tips and tricks. I know it was like weird, but I'm like, You know, I feel like no one talks about this topic really ever, or wherever the fuck I'm listening or consuming my media, no one's talking about it. I think it's so important, and I think it's so normal to have pregnancy scares and abortions and put a baby up for adoption and have a child. Like, these are normal things that happen in life. Why are we sugarcoating shit? Like, no, I'm gonna be the person that talks about this shit because there's nothing to sugarcoat. So, that is it for this week's episode. The Midday Matcha memo is don't literally dump your boyfriend. Okay, have safe sex, number one. But two, dump your boyfriend or the guy you're talking to if he's not buying condoms, Plan B, or pregnancy test for you. He's literally fucking trash. Like, he's genuinely trash. As well as know where you stand for yourself, because you're 100% responsible for your own life as to if there was to be an abortion, God, see, like, I'm so stuck on the abortion, but if you were to be pregnant, what would you do with the baby? Like, where would it go? What would you do? Have that set in stone for yourself, okay? I know I sound still a little sick. I'm still fucking recovering, bitches. It's rough out here. So if you want more of me, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at SheIsLivi, as well as my YouTube channel, It's Livi Bitch. I uploaded a vlog, so go watch my vlog, as well as, do I have any other socials? No. Oh my God, that's so emotional. You guys, I will see you next week for the 1 year episode, and I want to do something fun and exciting for the 1 year episode, so comment below what I should do for the 1 year episode. I said comment below like this is fucking TikTok. Just DM me on Instagram if you have any good ideas for the 1 year episode. Cause like I want to do like fun, exciting stuff and like celebrate it with everybody, you know, not just like me. Okay, I love every single one of you. Have an amazing rest of your day, night, evening, whenever the fuck you're listening to this. I love you. Go follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and don't forget you're a bad bitch. And don't get pregnant. Bye, YouTube. I love you the most.